Every day, billions of dollars of electronic business is conducted between the United States and Europe. Legal contracts, personal data, commercial deals and social media, all supposedly protected by a transatlantic privacy agreement called Safe Harbor. Now, though, the European Court of Justice has decided that Safe Harbor can't be trusted.
It impacts all aspects of business. Personal data is essentially anything from which a living individual can be identified. So that ranges from something as simple as an email signature block to details in a library database, for example.
In 2013, former CIA contractor Edward Snowden leaked classified documents revealing the sheer scale and intrusiveness of covert snooping by US intelligence agencies. It was those revelations which prompted campaigner Max Schrems to bring this case to the European Court. Schrems focused on Facebook, which has its European HQ in Ireland, but transfers users' data to servers outside the EU. Whether it's the digital photographs that we put on our social media websites, our credit card details, or indeed multi-million-dollar business deals, all of that data has to be stored on servers such as this. And more often than not, they're not here in the European Union, they're sited in the United States. Now, under the Safe Harbor Agreement, America promised to match the European Union's privacy rules. But what's become clear and is now acknowledged by the European Court is that America's spy agencies routinely override and ignore European privacy rules. Safe Harbor is worthless. Facebook insists it has done nothing wrong and operates within current laws. The company declined an interview request but issued a statement saying it is imperative that EU and US governments ensure that they continue to provide reliable methods for lawful data transfers and resolve any issues relating to national security. Alternatives to Safe Harbor include such things as model contracts, binding corporate rules, or our own consent for data to be transmitted. Of course, another solution would be to make the US spy agencies more accountable.
If I get spied on by the NSA, there is no way for me to go to the US and bring a private action against the NSA. There just isn't an avenue for that in the US. That, the ECJ says, that's fundamentally imbalanced. So if the US can reform their Privacy Act, they've had one since the 1970s, so that I as a European citizen can have some rights of action under that legislation, well, that levels up the playing field across the Atlantic. And you can see that would be one way. And that's going to be enormously controversial down the US.
Under current EU rules, companies which contravene privacy face financial penalties running to seven-figure sums. And new rules are on the way which would impose fines of up to 5% of companies' global turnover. This European ruling will spark a scramble to find new ways of doing business. Paul Brennan, Al Jazeera.